I know you just put up to the bar, but we closed.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you mean to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man. I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to her. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's alright. Don't even worry about it.
All right. Tell you what. I'm gonna get you one drink, cause it look like you need
one drink. I can do one drink. I can do one drink, cause I really yeah.
Hey man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right, welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
I'm gonna do something a little different this time, Craft. Brought to you by Minecraft.
Nice.
Tell everybody about Minecraft.
Well, Minecraft is one of my personal babies as well, right? I hold it dearly to my heart.
Yes, you should.
And I have been working for many years to put together a set of tools and resources that help people do life a little bit better.
Yes.
Be a little stronger, have a little more focus, be a little smarter.
Right.
And even to the point that they can use some of their magical power, right? It's about helping people to think and think properly. Thinking is one of those things we oftentimes take for granted because nobody's ever really taught us the value of it. And so when you think more effectively, you can have a more effective life. And so our thoughts create our reality.
Yes.
And I have set out to teach how thoughts create realities and give people a simple process on how to more effectively manage our thinking and manage our emotions. So we're pleased to be in the sponsorship program tonight.
Oh, yes.
Because we've got a lot to say about healing people's minds and hearts and helping them overcome the hurdles of life. So I appreciate that, Jay, so much, man. How you doing tonight, man?
Man, tonight was wonderful. The reason I did you as a sponsor, because one of the things you did is you've been rolling with me since day one. And again, we run different operations all day long, okay? And no one really knows what we do behind the scenes. And it ain't meant for you to know all that.
Right.
What's meant for you to know is we come in front of you as two hardworking young men. Well, I ain't gonna say young as we used to be, but strong young men.
Yeah.
I got that young in there.
Yeah.
Because when you think about our age, it's not about the number, it's about our strength. And my strength is just like when I was young because I'm driven to be better. And that's what Minecraft brings. And that's why I'm saying there's going to be more things in this show about what he do, because that's why I roll with him, because we got to enhance you to be the best you. And then you forget about your age and you'll find that youth within you.
Yes.
And that's what that does when you deal with Minecraft.
Yes.
And that's why we are together. So again, how am I? I'm great. I'm lovely. And one of the things I can tell you, I am driven.
Yes.
And that's why I want to enhance your mind by combining our thoughts to get you into a better place. That's why I started Bar Talk with Jay, because it started with my thought, and then I grabbed his vision, and then I added to mine, and now we have a awesome time.
Absolutely.
At Bar Talk with Jay.
Absolutely. A great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
In the building.
And we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a fabulous dialogue. We're just going to chop it up on the subject at hand. And as we talk about the subject, it actually gets a little more interesting and a little deeper.
Oh, yeah.
And ultimately, we start to find some real meaningful nuggets that we can hold on to, that we can contemplate, something that we can use in tomorrow's day to help us be a better person and achieve more in life. In fact, today's topic is what motivates you?
Ooh, yes.
What motivates you? And we have a lot to say on the subject. And so we are excited about being here with us tonight. And we hope you are as well. Of course, we always start the show off with a prayer.
Oh, yeah. Get them.
And why don't we hand this particular subject over to the Lord? Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you right now just for your love and for your strength and for your help and for just being alive today in 2025. There are many of us, Lord, who didn't think we were going to make it this far, and yet here we are. And we're asking the question tonight, Lord, what motivates us?
Ooh.
Show us, Lord, how to be motivated from within and not necessarily by the world's motivation. Show us how to have drive and commitment and tenacity and fortitude. Show us, Lord, how to be winners and how to be successful and have a positive attitude. Show us, Lord, how to feel, how to create good feelings even in the midst of trial and learning occasions.
Yes.
Help us, Father, to understand motivation in a way that would make you proud, in a way that would inspire us, in a way that would get us up off of our seat and do more in life than we've ever done before. We are not making the excuses of age and being tired or having failed many times. We believe, Heavenly Father, that you can do great work in our lives, and we believe that we must participate in that work by being motivated to do the things that you would have us to do. And so we ask, Father, that you would just be here with us in this show, speak your word through us, give us your wisdom and intelligence. We ask all of these prayers in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Oh, yes. You gonna start it like that. Oh, this is gonna be powerful tonight.
Yes. You know, in the middle of that prayer, I oftentimes comment on my prayer. And in the middle of that prayer, I'm wanting to just open up this space in my mind and heart that hinders my motivation. That hinders my ability to take charge and to charge out and leap for new ideas or for greater prosperity or for greater helping of other people. That you know, we have to dig in this life. Like life could become a very mundane thing. It could be playing the same tapes over and over, doing the same things over and over. How about when you hit a wall or you fail at something or you don't do that well, we could just put it down and go run another route, go take another track. But this conversation about motivation, we're talking about what creates that burning fire within for you to get up and go hard again tomorrow. You could have just slipped and fell, and you could have just lost a lot of money, and you could have just made a bunch of mistakes, but something has got to get you up and keep you moving forward in life. And that's the conversation that I think we're trying to have here is let's begin to understand where the fire comes from, where the positive attitude comes from, where does the drive really come from? Because if we can pinpoint those things, then we can find a way to turn the fire on for our life, turn the fire on for our relationships, turn the fire on to go make more money, turn the fire on to be a better person, turn the fire on to go help more people. Like where does the fire come from, and how does it spark in order to get people up and moving towards their greatest good in life? What would you say, Jay?
My ego.
My
ego. I will tell you all day long, my ego is one of my factors of a starter. Okay. My drive reacts after the ego because it has to check my ego from time to time.
Sometimes, yeah. Because
my ego can get out of hand. And then again, I've been in relationships, I deal with people, been in business for a long time. And I'm kind of self-motivated, but I'm also driven off of things that encourages me. And I get encouraged by people that shows me things that I like, people that I see compassion, people I see drive themselves, and I see them completing. And then I go back to me, and now I'm in challenge mode because I have an ego that feel like they can't outdo me. All right. Now, in seeing that, I'm not in competition with them. I'm in competition with me.
Right.
Because now they showed me something different. I'm like, oh, Lord, I didn't see that.
They showed you what was possible. Yes. And then you might be looking at them saying, I'm supposed to outperform them. What? I'm holding myself. If they can do it, I know I can do it. Right. And
I say, I don't have to take their way. What's mine?
Right.
And that's what the ego do. But the drive sets a whole plan in my path. So now I see them, I see how they move, and I see what I'm doing. and I might be doing something totally different than them.
Right.
But my whole thing is, I see their success. I got to figure out mine.
Right.
So as I figure out what I'm doing, I have to make some changes because I see already that my ego started as my drive is a plan to get there. And that's where I start that self-development. Yeah. And I'll be like, okay, maybe I need to study a little bit more. I might need a little bit of help in this. So now I'm willing to go out because Ian didn't get me all the way, because ego to me is a starter.
Ego
Gets you a starter. Okay. As it starts, your drive is a plan to get there. All right. Now this is internal for me. So I'm seeing different things, and it's not like I'm in competition with anyone but myself, but I see certain things. I see somebody doing things in a way that I like. Honestly, they're doing hard work, and then they're coming into it slowly. I see somebody else over here lying their way and fake it till you make it. And then they feel like they're bigger than the person that I already seen that was doing it in the way that I like, more honestly. And then I said, you know something, what's the long term? Well, as I watch this person lying, I see he falls off quick. He's not consistent. He don't stay with it. But the person that I seen with that good drive and that understanding and giving good content, he's getting there so slowly that I realize I like consistent.
Right.
So now I have to stay consistent in things that I want instead of being like someone else. I want the consistent route. So now I have to plan doing it all the time.
Right.
I need to think about it all the time. So now it's no longer my ego. It's my drive. Because the ego is just starting me off. My drive keeps me committed to do it. I need to make phone calls. I need to talk to certain people. I need to do this. So now I'm occupied when I used to be bored. I'm no longer bored because I have a lot to do. And in that, I find like myself not doing some of the stuff I used to do that was wasting my time. And that's not talking about the people I dated. It wasn't about them. It was about me understanding that certain people took me away from what I wanted to do. And I realized they wasn't for me. And even the ones that added to me, I still had the obligation to do. And then talking to like yourself, Craft, that's always up saying, okay, it's a mental thing, but you also have to break it down. And then next thing I know, I'm going to class because even in my drive, it can be enhanced because he experienced things differently than I do. So as he experienced things and I gravitate to the positive person he is, it's like, man, I didn't think about it like that. I always thought about the negative. I didn't think about the positive person I can be when I'm fighting the world.
Right.
I'm fighting everything. And he's like, yeah, as you fight though, man, you got to give it back to the Lord. You got to understand, bro, you ain't alone. So guess what? Now I got self-empowerment with understanding it was not just self. I used the word selfishly. God was always with me. He was part of my vision. He was part of my plan, but I didn't always give him credit. So now I'm backing up and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
In my prayers, God lead me. God help me. See what I'm saying? So I wasn't always asking God.
Yeah.
I said my ego
and that's
and
my
drive. And that's where I started off.
Yeah.
And I would love to say a mistake, but what I did was I enhanced myself because I didn't put him back in front. Right. So that's a learning lesson. And he wanted me to learn this lesson because he wanted me to do something without him. For he can see he's the fruit. You trying to get something that you can't accomplish without me.
Right.
Man, I'm like, no, I never forsake you. No, you didn't even mention me. So in your drive and all the things that you do, and then your ego, if you don't have him, I like to say, I don't know what you have. But with him, he gives you clarity. And then he start moving your steps.
Yes.
Please understand that.
Yes.
He's moving me in places I need to be for the happiness that I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to live a heaven, not a hell. I was leading myself to hell, okay? Because I was thinking I could do it. When he guided me, I started seeing way different. I started doing things in a way that was for him, not of me.
Yeah,
because I didn't always put him where he needed to be. But I promise you, he will guide you where you need to go when you ask him.
And I want to break this down just a little bit for us because Jay had a positive rendition of ego. But ego gets men into trouble a lot of times, right?
Say it.
But ego can be used to help motivate one. Mike Tyson tells the best story on ego. He says when he was in prison and he met his trainer, right? I can't remember his name right now, but he met his trainer, the guy who would end up taking him to be a world-class fighter and take him to many championships and many belts. He said, the thing that I had to use all day, every day in order to get to that level of performance was I had to use my ego. He said, I couldn't believe that I could do it. He said, and so I would pretend in my mind until I got strong enough and fast enough, until I heard it enough from the crowd, until I heard the announcer say, until I had the record built up with all these wins and no losses, until I was knocking people out. He said, I was leaning on my ego. He said, it was the ego that made me have to look at the fact of whether I could do it or couldn't do it. He said, but I got these people around me telling me that I'm a champ. So I pretended that I was a champ until I actually started feeling like I was a champ. That old fake it till you make it type scenario, right? But oftentimes the ego will let you down because an ego is very, it's very self-driven, right? It's not driven by, I want to help the community or help the family or be the best in my industry. It's driven by selfish desires. I want this for me. I want to be the best because I want to be able to talk noise and I want to be able to pop off at the mouth and I don't want nobody to be able to say, you know, what I can and what I can't do, right? It's a short way to go. Ego is a short way to go. But I think Jay said it so well. You know, God is my motivator. You know, from many years ago, I said to the Lord, I said, Lord, you've been so good to me. You have filled every gap. You have answered all my questions. You have come to my rescue. You've been helpful. You put love and wisdom in me. You give me a fresh start over and over and over again, that my life no longer belongs to me. I give all of my life over to you, Lord. And when I did that, I did it sincerely. And then I said, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do? And whatever he would want me to do, I used to spend all my time thinking about being rich. And I used to study helicopters and yachts and private planes and mansions. And I used to spend a lot of time lusting over these worldly things. And then the Lord brought to me one day, he says, son, I got you no matter whether you get there or not. I got you. You'll never miss the mark. You'll never be without. He said, you got faith in your heart that will reveal any blessing to you that I have for you. Say it. He said, you know, so now I don't think about wealth anymore. I'd love to be prosperous. I'd love to go buy the finest of things in the world. But even if I never get there, I'm motivated by God to do my best work while I'm here, because my life isn't mine anymore. It belongs to him. And so now I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for him. Sometimes you have to get a reason for your motivation. Say it. Sometimes you are motivated to get wealth and be successful because you want to take great care of your kids, because you want to have a beautiful home for you and your family, because you want to travel and see the world, because you want things and stuff. And you know, you don't get things and stuff by osmosis. You have to save and you have to invest and you got to earn and you got to build. Those are the kind of things that it takes for you to go on your trips and for you to have the nice bikes or the nice cars and the nice things and stuff. So there is a set of motivation that comes from wanting to do the right thing, right? And doing the right thing is really, I think, is the highest calling. Yes, it's the highest calling, right? It's that you know you have a gift. You know, if you were a beautician and you did hair, right, and you can be the best beautician in the world and make all the money, but really it's about that portion of your life where you give back and you're going down and cut hair and do hair for the homeless. You're teaching classes on how to take care of hair to people who may not be able to afford to go to the nice beautician or whatever the case may be. So what motivates us is a very interesting thing, right? The question we're talking about here is what puts the fire under your seat for life? What gets you excited about life? For some people, it's money. And we've already kind of covered that a little bit, right? But money can be a great motivator, right? Because now you can do things that you couldn't do, right? There are a lot of people who hate on money, right? A lot of people who they want it, but they kind of hate on the attitude of having it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like to go out and buy stuff. I like to save my money. Right. I like to eat a steak when I want a steak. You see what I mean? So I don't use my money like you would use your money. Right. But when I have lots of it, I still do great things for myself. I take good care of myself, right? There are people who go out and get massages, and they go out and get pedicures, and they go out and go out and take classes, the best classes, and learn from the greatest mentors. And, and they like to, they like to buy books, and they like to buy things that really add value to life. Some people just want to have a great time. Yes. I go to work so that I can enjoy my weekends and stay in nice hotels or take nice trips. Or when my mother needs something, I can get it for her without even having to question, right? Money can be a great motivator. But I think money is short-term and temporary. Right. Because we know that people who have lots of money, that no longer makes them happy. No. And that no longer motivates them. In fact, sometimes the money get in the way of the motivation because they don't have a real reason to go work hard anymore.
I think what you just said was so key, because a lot of times people don't see why somebody makes so much money and then they continue to make it, because they don't make it for the same reason you do. Because they found motivation inside themselves to keep them doing things, and they kept themselves in a position of making. Because I started off with what I want and my desires, but once you achieve so much, it's so much more to achieve. Yeah. Because now it's not the material; it is to empower me to know that there's so much more to do. Right. And that drive right there is a shift.
Listen, I think Beyonce is one of those people who I admire on this level. Okay. Right? She has all the money. She don't have to write another song. But she keeps writing music.
Stay relevant.
To be the best. Yep. To stay relevant. She keeps writing music because she wants to touch people's spirit. She keeps writing music because that's her gift.
Can't be mad.
No other reason than that's her gift. And so it's encouraging to follow your passion and to express your gifts in life, right? Don't let nothing stop you from flowing in your passions.
Say it.
Excuse me.
You fine?
There's a place in life where you have to think beyond things and stuff, where you have to think about what's good for the people around you, where you have to think about how can you nurture somebody else with your gift and talent? How can you help somebody else? I think the second half of everybody's life should be dedicated to the world. And that's part of mine. I realize that the Lord has blessed me, and I could take all of this wealth and all of this prosperity and all of this favor that I've had in my life, and I could go to a small island, and I could fish for dinner, and I could have refrigerators full of food, and I could just live on the sand and the beach and look at the green grass and the ocean for the rest of my life. For 20, 30, 40 years, I could go and take a sabbatical from the hard work of life. But I'm not interested in that because that's not going to produce the kind of fruit that I think God wants me to produce. I stay in the fight because there is work to be done, and the work to be done is not for me. It's for my kids. It's for my grandchildren. It's for your family. It's for you. See, you could be sitting on the sideline of your life thinking that you can't do it, thinking that there's no hope, thinking that you don't have any choices, thinking that you're the only one who's ever failed.
Right.
You know, but that's not the truth.
Nope.
I'm here to tell you that your life can make a difference no matter how challenged it has been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You can stand up and you can move forward in your life, and you never have to look back again.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to know that.
Very much.
And you need to hear it from somebody who's been there and done that.
Mm-hmm.
That means my life has meaning now. All the pain and struggle and nonsense that I have gone through, that I could give up on life. We all could just say, I'm done with all that. I just want to retire and go sit in a corner, get me a little apartment, a little bungalow on the beach and just live. No, but we want to do something that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I am now. The rest of my life is about how many lives I can touch with my work.
Mm-hmm.
How many lives can I touch with my gift? How can I change the educational system? How can I give people without hope? How can I give people pride in themselves? How can I get people more proactive in their lives? How can I get people to follow their dreams?
Mm-hmm.
How can I get people to take chances and risk and to do things that they never thought they could do? Right? That's what my life is about. And I'm hoping that if you're hearing this, that somewhere in the game, that's going to be what your life is. Right? They say in a healthy relationship,
right,
that two people come together and forget about what they want, and they start thinking more about what the other person wants.
Right.
And when you have two people thinking about each other in that way, it brings a bond. It brings a connection. It brings strength in the tie. And that's how I want my talents and skills to be used in the world for somebody else, so I can be tied to God's blessings for somebody in this world, right? And that's what you do. You are tied to God's blessing in your craft and in your ministry and in your work and in your careers. And so the point here is, folks, is that we really have to live the way to get through life. And this is what humanity has taught us. All the people, the billions of people who have come before us.
Give me that nugget.
The way to get through life is to live life like you're trying to do something for the people around you. That's the way to get through life. And if you have people's best interests in mind, it's like the good's going to come back to you tenfold, right? Tenfold, it's going to come back to you, right? So what motivates me?
I was about to have some fun.
Go ahead.
You know, there are some wildfires in California, and there's some people that lost everything. And I like to say, my hearts go out to each and every one of you guys, from the rich to the poor. It does not matter. But what I would always say is, when you just work for that, you don't see what you have in you. There's nothing that someone can take you. Let's go back to Job. Okay. There's nothing that you really do that can be taken from you if you understand his work, because again, it is in the midst. And we sometimes get things and acquire stuff, and we feel like that's it. And my whole thing is, how you going to get past it when it's taken? Because see, you feel like that's what he gave you. You know, he gave you the ability.
Let me tell you, losing stuff takes the life out of a lot of people.
Yeah, I know.
Losing relationships, you lose a loved one, or you lose a car, a house, or stuff. You lose some jewelry, you know what I'm saying? You've been working hard and investing, and all of a sudden the stock market turned upside down, you lose half of your life savings.
Right.
And at that point, people want to take their lives.
Yes, they have.
They feel like they have no more reason to live. And I just kind of believe that God does everybody like that. Like you have to get to a place where you depend only on him. And he's going to take your things and stuff. He's going to rearrange it. He's going to make what is valuable not valuable, right? Because he wants to be the premier value. He has to be the number one value. And so all these things, especially egotistical things, especially material things, those things will come and go, because they really operate in a space where they have no permanency to them anyway.
And I feel like a lot of people idolize them. And
Listen.
that's another good reason why they be taken, because you give praise to something other than what he's done. It's just what I achieved this, and I put this monument here, and I put this $20 million house here, okay, off of my work. And it's just you, and you idolizing your work.
Idolizing your work and yours. And listen, your idols will always fall short of the Lord. If you're not idolizing him as number one, all the things that you idolize will be taken from you. I'm telling you, I remember I love Jay-Z, and I've been following his pathway for many years, and he say a lot of powerful stuff. That's why he's so powerful, because his spoken word is powerful. But he says I've driven all the V12 engines. He said, I wish I could start over. They boring to me now.
Right.
I done had it. I got mad at it. He said I had it, got mad at it, and don't want it no more. Right? What is he after? What would somebody chase? What would motivate somebody after you've had all the material stuff? The only thing it could be is making a difference. Right? Making a difference. And I know that he has a company where he puts the best talent on the stage of the Super Bowl. Right. And so now what he's doing, he's making sure that he gives all these great artists a slot at being on the world-class stage. And can you imagine being a person who's not thinking about himself? I already got the contract. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I create avenues for the people who have come behind me and put them on the main stage. So come the end of January or February, every single year for the next 20 years, I'm going to be putting people on stage. I'm going to be promoting people from within my group, Now
you think about it. That's leveling up from driving a car to motivating people.
That's leveling up.
I drive this car as fast as I can drive it. I had the fastest, I done had the best. Now you say, what's next? Is I got to get out that car and achieve other goals.
Right.
And that's when you empower and to realize I drove that car, but can I get other people to be able to experience what I experienced? Because God bless me. Can I bless others? And that's where that giving to give, put in position to give and to realize it's greatness that's going to come from what I'm passing.
And Jay, we see it in every field of human endeavor, right? You see the great musicians nurture the rookies, right? The great comedian create formats and platforms to bring in others,
not haters,
right? Great coaches, right? Great coaches. They recruit people to give them a shot at stardom. They recruit people and then train them to give them a shot at being their best. Like, I just love how motivation flows downhill.
Now,
right?
Just like you gave Jay-Z, Deion Sanders has done great things. He been in the league, and I heard an interview, and he said, "Where your son gonna go?" He said, "I've been in this. So one thing I'm gonna tell you is I'm not gonna let him basically fail.
I'm not gonna let him make the same mistakes I made."
And as a father, knowing how I love my child, it honored me to hear him speak that way.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, you know how it is. And it's like, yeah, but I know the behind the scenes. See, y'all think y'all know. I know behind the scenes.
Right.
And that encouragement, again, is how we supposed to put things forth. I sacrificed and I did this for family, and then I don't forsake family. I stay with family, and then I push family to greaterness.
Right.
And that's the godliness. That's not just the eagleness. And everybody wants to see
the
his ego.
godliness. That's right.
His ego is no. That's the godliness, because I'm going past what you see, because you don't understand. I love him unconditionally.
Right. Watch this. What do you think? What is the motivating factor in people who want to see the best or be the best? You think about people who are in competition, athletes. What motivates them to be the best? I mean, what is that about? What is it? you know, they're motivated to go and get the money. They're motivated to go and get the #1 trophy. They're motivated to break the world record. They're motivated. What is that motivation all about?
I think that motivation is a little bit different than what most people would see because they're not seeing what you see. My best ain't what you see. It's what I can do.
It's what I can do.
And
based upon
what you seen
right.
is what somebody else did. When I motivate,
Right.
it is to show you something you never seen.
Right.
And that is a vision that you have to have.
Yeah.
And don't tell, but to
And
do.
let me tell you.
That is when you sit there with God and you be like, help me achieve the best of me.
Right.
It goes back to songs and Christianness of knowing it's more to me than what everybody ever seen. When with your guidance and in your steps, they will be able to see the achievement which you see in me.
Yes.
God has a gift of yours that no one ever seen until you asked him.
Right.
It is going into prayer to realize it's not about the material. It's not about, but I want to be the best. And then asking him in your steps. Don't ask him just for the best. Ask him in your steps. And that way he'll make your steps guide you faster than anything else.
There it is.
And then you working
There it is.
within greatness compared to working within world.
There it is.
Because if I say I want to be better than Jay-Z, I don't even know what he went through. I'm asking from a place that I don't know.
I may not want that.
But when
That's
I
right.
ask him for my steps, he's giving me what's for me.
That's right.
I'm asking for a
That's
power
right.
within me that's going
And-
to guide me better than what world has, because I don't know what he prayed for. I don't know what he had to do, but I know what I did. And then I can tell my story as my story that he did for me.
Yeah.
And that's
I
what
tell you another thing you just said that's so
What's that?
powerful as we move to our close here in just the last few minutes. Your vision will motivate you more than any single other thing in the
Mhm.
world. The vision that you have of yourself, of your life, of your accomplishments, you have to decide what
Say
you
it.
want in this life.
Say it.
And if you are clear about it, it should get you up in the morning.
What?
It should have you to stay up late. It should make you wake up early. It should make you go until you're tired and exhausted.
Mhm.
It should make you renew yourself. It should make you ask for help. It should humble you and make you go and maybe even beg for something.
Mm.
Right? I don't think any of us get what we really want until we have the pure sense of humility. God said, you are the fastest person in the world, but I'm not going to put you on that stage because your heart ain't ready for it. Because you're going to start talking noise and you're going to start being all arrogant. And
Back
you're going
to worldliness.
if I let you win that race, it'll ruin your life. How about that?
Mm.
There's some things that will ruin your life, right?
But he know it.
But only God know it,
He
right?
know it.
Only he know it. And so even sometimes we have to, as we start, especially as we start to age, and I've had to discover this myself,
Mhm.
that there are some visions that we have that just don't align with God's will for our life. And when you let those visions go, you just open the doorway for him to fill more of your space with his presence rather than that simple-minded want that you had in your life. But your vision of being a great parent, being a great spouse, being a great worker, being a leader in your community, the vision about being, maybe you're an engineer, maybe you're an inventor, maybe you just own a little hair shop with 4 chairs in it. And your vision is that this shop is going to put your grandchildren through college. Your vision is that this shop is going to be a safe haven for you to take care of your family for the rest of your years.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have a big Mongolian mall type shop. You just have your vision, and never let your vision be swayed by haters and non-believers. Keep your vision close to you, because your vision is what's going to motivate you. It's what's going, when the hardship comes, when the brick wall comes, when the failure comes, you'll know that your vision will cause you to see those as guiding posts and not as something trying to hold you back. Not as something trying to take your opportunity. Not as maybe God trying to tell me this ain't for me. You won't have that if you got a clear vision in your mind. You're going to have the vision that, you know what? This is just a stepping stone. This is just something I need to get through. You know what? This too soon shall pass. See, the Lord wants to see your character as you're building and as you're growing. And so And so keep the vision in your mind, but at the same time, hand over your vision to him. Because sometimes even we need to be corrected in our insights, but even more than that, we need to pray to the Lord for our insights. We need to ask him to help us with the things that we can't even understand which direction we need to go. But you just say, Lord, help me get there. And he'll next thing you know, he leading you in the right. You may be walking this direction, but when you say, Lord, help me, he going to turn you around and walk you in this direction, because he know that's where the promised land is. That's where the gold is. That's where the gravy is. That's your path right there. But you didn't know it until you hand it over to the Lord. But see, boy, I want to go there. I want to go there. I want to go there.
You hit so hard to a place where I really was sitting there one time, man. It's not a stagnant, but I said, let me start enjoying the things that I already have.
Start enjoying what I already have.
I already want to buy this. And I started enjoying the things I already have. So I'm driving my car. I'm always normally in my truck, but I jumped in my car. Car run good. And then it's man, 25 years old school BMW doing this thing. 7 Series.
Yeah.
And I'm riding down the road and I thought about a vehicle I seen on TV. And I didn't think about it for me.
Right.
I thought about it for my mom.
For your mom, yes.
And I said, you know something, it'd be a nice vehicle to have because it was a luxury type van that had a bathroom in it.
Yeah.
And a TV, because I want her to be the most comfortable she can be before she leave here, because that's my angel.
Yes.
And to me, she sacrificed so much for me to be where I'm at, and didn't even really know where I was going to be, but she never gave up on me. And that's what I'm saying to you guys, when you got a parent in your life that she couldn't give me everything. And they say a woman can't raise a man. She did a damn good job.
Yes, a woman can raise a man.
She gave something of a blueprint that the best she could, that somebody say what a man can do. I can just tell you the blueprint was, even when other people helped me, she never forsake me.
Yeah.
So I'm only going to tell you how God brings somebody in your life, and he kept her in here to this point to help me realize I blessed you beyond anything that you wanted to buy and do.
Right.
But I gave you something that you needed, and that's a person of an angel. Follow things that I send you. He sent me an angel, and that was my mother. And that was one person that I didn't even see this way.
Yeah.
But I started realizing other people forsake me, and she taught me how she didn't.
Yes.
She showed me consistency of unconditional love.
Yes.
That a lot of people don't see. So now I'm going around conditioned to what love is.
Yeah.
Love is this, love is that. And then I realized God gave unconditional love. And you'd be like, well, there's no unconditional love, no unconditional love in this world. And then I thought about what my mother did. So he showed me somebody why I'm showing negative.
Yes.
He's showing me where I need to change my thoughts to be positive. And then I stopped thinking about me, and I started realizing about it's
all about them.
And it changed me to a point where my drive shifted.
That changes everything.
And my ego had to adjust.
That changes everything.
And it makes my life so much different. And I promise you, I'm not saying all mothers, I'm just telling you my story. If it relates to you, great. But if it don't, just know he's showing you unconditional in what he do alone. Then he showed me a person other than with Jesus. Yeah. Okay. The sacrifice of his son. He said, I'm going to give it a little closer to you. I'm going to give it to you by what I have in front of you.
Right.
And that was my mother. It's up to you to be able to see it. But bottom line, he shows it. And then it's up to you to adjust to it. And that's what I got to say.
And listen, we can be motivated by things, stuff, worldly things, but ultimately the greatest motivation is going to come from within. And it's going to stem from love. It may be love of your craft and your gift and your skill. It may be love of people.
Right.
But it's going to be love. And if your motivation is not stimulated by love, you need to talk to God about that. You need to check yourself on that, because I think all motivation is going to come from love. But you know, we all know that motivation has a lot of competition in it. Right. It has a lot of I want to be better than I was. I want to be better than them. I want to, I want to be notarized. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to be understood. And sometimes we fall short. And that's why we can end up in apathy and laziness and maybe fear of trying again, is because we don't have that. Our motivation isn't aligned with his will. And so I just encourage you folks to find out what motivates you and let it be your stronghold for the rest of your life.
Thank you.
I love people. I love God. He brought me here to do something in this world. It seems like part of my job is to influence and affect and enrich other people's lives. So I'm going to stay in that lane until that lane absolutely ends. I don't believe it's going to end. I believe that even after this life, into my next life, I'm going to be motivating and helping and supporting people. So I'm here for an eternal experience with the Lord. And I know that he is one who can bring his eternal love and goodness and richness to life, and especially to our lives. And I don't know that there's much more to say on that. So I can
say one more thing. Hashtag family first.
Hashtag family first. And what else do we say? This has been this has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name's Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we want to thank you for being here with us tonight. Whether you're watching this show in 2025 or whether you're watching it in 2050, it's all about helping you to be your greatest possibility. And we're here every Thursday from 7 to 8 Facebook Live. We've got over 400 shows to dive into, from, silly, nonsensical stuff down to God's greatest wisdom. And we just talk about it in a way that we can bring the shortness of life to the surface so that we can deal with it, manage it, and be our greatest possibility. Never forget that we do this, folks, because we love you and we appreciate you. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk.